Most prospecting problems aren't caused by the reps doing the wrong things. They're usually caused by leaders skipping a few hard decisions early on. If these decisions are fuzzy, then no amount of activity is actually going to fix this. So let's start with the misdiagnosis. I hear this all the time. When prospecting is underperforming, the typical reactions are usually like, let's rewrite the scripts. We need new cadences. We need a new tool, right? Or let's use AI, or pretty much push for more volume. That one's been around forever. We just need more out of them. I'm not against volume, but those feel productive because you're trying to get them to do something, but they don't actually address the root cause. Now, the root cause is usually that the team isn't aligned on who they're selling to. It's not a well-defined ICP. What problem they actually solve. Problem, not a pitch, the problem they solve. And why it matters now. So let's break down those three decisions that you as a leader need to make to ensure this prospecting performs. So targeting, right? If your ICP is kind of broad or aspirational, then reps are going to fill those gaps with guesswork. They're going to make it up. That's not what you want them to be doing. Remember, outbound is like the spear. Marketing might be a little bit more of the broad, but outbound needs a spear. So you need to define that very narrowly, okay? You're not boiling the ocean here too. Number two, what's the problem definition, right? Teams often pitch before defining the actual problem. And what your reps really need to understand is that what is the problem that your buyer has? Do they understand that deeply? Because if not, they're going to be talking about features as opposed to asking questions that make the buyer feel the problem they have. And then we become credible, so the pitch actually lands after that. The third is timing and relevance. Messaging definitely lands better when you're referencing change. And the way, to do this is that, right, we have signals. You can teach your reps what data to go look for in their buyers, in their companies, in their market that indicate that this is a problem now. This is defined in your ICP. You want to train them how to do that manually, but the better way is training your AI to do that. So when AI finds companies and contacts and delivers them to your rep, or supports them in the outreach, if you're using AI in a part of this function, is that deliver those data points to the rep so they understand them, they check them against the AI research, and then that informs the conversation, right? They're bringing up points that, hey, we learned this about your company. It's typical of other people we work with. Curious if this is something that is affecting you now, things like that. So timing and relevance is really important. So those are the three things that you really need to work on. Now, tactics can become a distraction. It's easier to adjust tactics than to narrow focus. But skipping that foundation that I just described is going to make it scattered. Right? I'm a multi-channel advocate, right? We're using all our channels for outreach, and activity really matters. But it can become a distraction if you haven't defined those three things above. So let's put this all together and wrap it up. If your team's prospecting just feels inconsistent, don't start by making them do more or finding a whole bunch of more tools for them to use, or like going to the magical AI button, right? You need to make those three decisions first. And if you make those decisions, do your homework there, then whatever you're doing to prospect is going to perform better. It'll also motivate your team, and their activity will naturally go up because they believe in it, they're focused, and they'll see success. So if you have this prospecting problem, start by asking, have we actually made the hard decisions and defined those three things above? If you do, your team is going to execute better. They're going to be more motivated. Volume's going to go up anyways, and success will follow.